Totally fine.
Thank you so much.
I'm great. How are you doing?
Doing so good, so good. I'm sorry, I saw your email a little bit late. If you want to do the songs before the interview, we can definitely do that.
I'm okay to do them after.
Are you sure? I don't want to
Mm.
okay,
No, this is
okay.
good. That's good.
Well, I kind of teed you up to everyone. There's also a lot of folks in chat that are a big fan of your music in general, just kind of listening to it from this latest album, Troubadour. But could you just do a quick intro to who you are, Brendan, and Tiberius, the project in general?
Yeah. My name's Brendan. I make music under the name Tiberius on the internet and in person. And it's been kind of a solo project that's had a lot of different iterations with pals and bandmates over the years. And yeah, it's my big passion in life, and feel very happy and privileged to be able to do it.
Yeah, I mean, you do an excellent job. I was creeping pretty far back on your Instagram to see how far you've been doing this, which it seems like from I mean, before even COVID times, I remember I was scrolling through Instagram being remember there were some captions that had "bring a mask." How has kind of Tiberius evolved over the span of time? Different bandmates, different kind of how the group's grown from a solo project to where you are now. What's that been like?
Yeah, I guess it started when I went to college, which was a long time ago now, or a longer time ago now. I was playing in bands in high school, in a band in high school, and um, was kind of looking for an outlet to continue to do that by myself, and got really into. I got a Mac for college, found garage band,
Yeah.
started the whole I'm gonna make beats now journey, and um, yeah, I just started making music, and it was kind of an outlet for me to be um, a little more honest, a little more confessional, get a little experimental. Didn't have anyone breathing down my back, being like, "This is wrong" or "This is too much." And so, as a result, I had a good few years of trial and error of trying things out and trying to figure out what I thought sounded good, and then eventually, after a few years of doing that, I had a friend in college who was like, I'd really love to play some of these songs like in a band format, and I was like, I don't know if it's really gonna work, but they convinced me, gave it a try with some friends, and then from then on, I was like, okay, well maybe this can be like a band too. So that was a little before COVID. I graduated and I moved to Boston, and then kind of as COVID lifted, it really became this fully fledged like live project that's
Yeah.
done a lot in the Boston music scene. Um, yeah.
I love we have quite a few folks here that are in the Boston space. So what's kind of maybe your top hits for the Boston music scene? What's going on right now? What are kind of maybe even the staples that happen over there? I don't know enough about the Boston music scene, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. Where
Yeah.
are you based?
I'm in the Chicago area, so I'm
Cool.
really Midwest emo roots. That's kind of what I'm I don't know, most comfortable with. But
Totally.
we were talking to Jocelyn Follett 3 weeks ago now, big in the Salt Lake City area, and having all of their roots there. But what's it like in the Boston area? Kind of what's the this typical scene like?
The vibe is a little all over the place. We have Berkeley here, Berkeley School of
Mm.
Music, so there's a lot of different genres that kind of flow through the city. A lot of Berkeley kids will have a lot of different kinds of projects. There's a lot of indie rock here.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, a lot of I think everything kind of has a little bit of a layer of grime, based on it's a very big house show, DIY city. Boston
Okay.
doesn't really have like a big professional music infrastructure. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the DIY ethos kind of carries through in its genres. So there's a big emo scene on like the South Shore, Boston. There's some good indie rock, some country folk stuff, some alt stuff. And I think because of the nature of Tiberius, we've kind of been able to do more of like the punky stuff and things that
Mhm.
are a little louder, and then at other times we've been able to do more like kind of stripped back acoustic folk leaning stuff, which is awesome because it's great to fit in a lot of different pockets and see a lot of different music.
Definitely. You coined the term, which I had never heard before, farm emo. What is what makes something farm emo versus like I've also heard the alternative, which like I see that like far more like country leaning, I think. But walk me through farm emo.
Question. I think I just saw a meme of I think Lisa Simpson just saying country music is just farm emo, and I thought that was funny. And I think when Jamie, my label friend who helped release Troubadour, basically did everything to release Troubadour. Um, we were talking initially, and I think that buzzword came up, and ended up in the press release. And now it's to do. People run with it, which is cool. But I think that like a lot of the songs are just like um, I think they're just all very like confessional generally. I feel like I write a lot of songs that are at their core just like songs, singer songwriter songs, and then they kind of get dressed up in different ways and in different genres. And right before um, I started doing like started kind of writing all the Troubadour record, I had had like a big Neil Young phase and was like, okay,
Love it.
I'm gonna try to write some harmonica songs and yeah, so then it really kind of leaned into that. But I think Tiberius is like a larger project isn't hasn't always been like farm emo per se, but in this moment it's we had some farm emo going on.
I love it. Neil Young is actually the reason why I have like multiple harmonicas thrown around me as
I love
well.
it.
I've not gotten to a situation where I feel strong enough to play the guitar and the harmonica at the same time though. I don't know why. My brain just like doesn't work that way. I'm like, "Oh, I could maybe figure it out. It's just breathing." But no.
I was gonna say that's all I do is I just blow in and out as I go and it makes some sounds. So
I try. Okay, so Tiberius. So kind of talk me through like the name Tiberius in general. How did you come up with that? Has that always been what you've been working under?
yeah, um, I had well, I was in high school at the time, and my English teacher it was like kind of a nickname because I my middle name starts with a T,
Mm,
and the first day they were like, "Is it what's the T stand for?" Because they had like on the computer they had like my initial, and before I could answer, they're like, "Is it Tiberius?" And because it's like he was like a big Star Trek guy, and there's James T. Kirk,
okay.
and so I was like, "Yeah, sure." It's Tiberius, or
So
whatever you want it to be. And I wrote like Tiberius on my paper, and I was like Tiberius in that class, which was really cute. And I think when I was looking to release music on Bandcamp, I thought Tiberius would be kind of a cute name. And then
mhm.
years later, it just kind of stuck, and now I think I'm stuck with it. And the process of changing a name on the internet is hard and complicated and really destroys all the digital footprint. So it's Tiberius, and that's it's gonna stay that way.
Stuck. Yeah. What is it about English teachers having like some sort of immediate impact that I feel like everybody's lives that's like if you're like a creative, that's where the go-to is.
Totally, totally. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I think so. I think that it was uh, a real blessing. And I feel like I had that English teacher and I had an English teacher the year before who was also very impactful. And
Hmm.
then I was an English major in school. So
Oh
I
yeah.
guess it stuck.
Do they know that you now write and like play music under the moniker of Tiberius?
You know, it's been a while since I checked in with them. They do know that. But you know, I don't know if they know that I still do it. So we'll maybe worth writing them and seeing if they want to hear the new
The
disc.
new stuff.
Yeah,
Send them the Bandcamp link
yeah.
just if they're interested. Um, okay, so high school, I also did some digging. You were on the J Card podcast, so I listened to
Mm.
that a bit, and you talked a bit about some of your influences coming from Guitar Hero. Uh,
Yeah, I guess so.
um, what was your favorite song to play on Guitar Hero? Everybody's got one. If you could think
That's
of
a
one. If it's
well, that's
hard, you
such a good question, actually. It's been a long time. Um, I really, you know what? This is kind of like an uncovered memory. I remember I used to play the song Miss Murder. I think they're AFI. Um, and I literally haven't heard that song probably since Guitar Hero.
since then.
So I just was just thinking that's the song that came to a head, but I don't
Yep.
know. There was some classics on there. I feel like there were like I like Nirvana, Smashing Pumpkins,
Yep.
and bands I would like kind of like discover more later on. They had some songs on Guitar Hero, but it didn't really grab me at the time. Not until the teen angst fully kicked in, and
Yeah.
then it was hard grip on me.
Then you could appreciate it. That was me with Paramore. That was where my first introduction was. I think it was Rock Band, actually. Not to like insult
No,
any
no,
Guitar Hero heads, but like they
there's
all
room
kind
for
of like,
both.
yeah, they all meld into one. But then I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be my personality now. I'm going to
Totally.
play in this realm. Um, okay, so you open the album with an instrumental, which I think is always such like a intentional choice. Um, yeah, you go ahead. Maybe there's something there. I don't even have
Yeah,
to
I don't
lead
know.
in.
I feel like it's a habit I've done for a couple of records
Yeah.
where I feel like it's like cold open before the title credits. I don't know. Just like here's like the middle or where you're gonna get later, and then before going into something else, or like an overture or a preview.
Yeah.
Um, I'm a very I like my records to try to be as thematic as possible, and
Hmm.
I guess it's just been a habit. So I don't even really think about it that much. I'm like, there's the little opening number.
There it is. You just felt like it was a good place for it. Okay, the thematic part I really love because you have there's a quote about experiencing like an ego death while in the solace of trees and nature. Then you have the song Painting of a Tree, and then even on the album cover, which I'm gonna try and blow up right now if I can do it on the fly. Wow, look at me. There's a line there. It says like an artist can't paint a tree unless he really looks at it. So I feel like there's a theme there with the trees that you're leaning into, or just like being
Totally.
in nature. I guess I should say in general. What was kind of like the moment behind that, maybe that you were having specifically that like kind of instilled, I don't know, maybe the nature esque to it.
Um, I guess that particular this was probably the only record I've ever done that like the songs were written in pretty much in chronological order. So
Okay.
it really feels like a kind of a journey.
Yeah.
But the when I was getting to the painting of a tree part in that record, I was I was experiencing a lot of change, some relationship change, and I think I had met my job. I'm a teacher, and one of the older teachers at my work, he kind of a kind of a kooky man, and he's a woodshop teacher. Teachers are a theme, I guess, for me. Um, but he I was like kind of like jokingly or half jokingly like mentioned to him, I'm like, oh, what do you got any advice on heartbreak? And he kind of just was like he laughed it off. And then later he like found me on campus, and this was like not when the kids were around. He's like, I've been thinking about your issue. And he's like he just kind of just said he said like an artist can't paint a tree unless he examines all parts of it. And I was like, I didn't quite really know what that meant, but at the time, but I was writing that song, and um, I feel like I kind of took it to mean as like, you know, being to experience life, you kind of have to you have to experience all of it, and it's like you experience the lows and the highs, and it's important. It's a part of human nature, and I think that during that time, I was just finding a lot of I was trying to slow down a lot and doing a lot of like breathing and kind of meditative walks and the nature around me. I grew up in Vermont, and I feel like I feel this kind of deep rooted sense of like calmness when I've got some green around me. And yeah, I just I think that was the part of that particular year where I was like, wow, I really feel in sync with the stimuli, the source around me, just being out here. And I feel kind of where I'm supposed to be right now, even if that's a little low or a little down and out.
Yeah, at least just like feeling whatever you need to feel in the moment versus like rushing past it and ignoring it.
Sure.
Someone like me, maybe. What do you teach?
I actually do like music and film stuff.
Oh, that's
So
awesome. I love that. That is so cool. Oh, at least you're like still wrapped up in like something that you're like really passionate about too within your like your day job at the same time. Um, okay, not to pry too deep. So you can also tell me to back off. You could
I'm
give
a
me a
pretty open book.
you can give me a big middle finger, but it's
Yeah.
kind of like a like common, I don't know, it's like a joke within my community that for some reason everyone here has some level of religious trauma like in their history. So your line, I don't believe in God, but I'm praying like I did back in middle school. Like for me, like
Yeah.
really, I was like, oh yeah, 'cause if things are really going really bad, I'm like, let's just say a quick rosary or something
Yeah.
like that. Is is that kind of how it like shows up in your life? You could also, if that's too personal, I apologize. We can walk away from that too.
No, 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 no. I think I have like I definitely have some. Yes, I think I do on some level have some religious drama. I grew up Catholic, or going to like Sunday school, and um, while it didn't really, that wasn't really a big part of my life, growing up, and like kind of when I got to high school and just like finished it and then never went back to church. I think that there are some like pretty deeply rooted, I don't know, sense of like religious shame and attitudes about certain things that come up in my life, and that's definitely a topic in therapy is
Yeah,
how that manifests in different places. But I think that there is like, yeah, times of like calling out to something or like experiencing, I definitely feel like I experience a lot of shame about different things that
yeah,
I'm still learning to overcome, even as an adult, or like um, kind of really address that cognitive dissonance between, you know, what feels wrong and what's right. And you know, um, but yeah, there's definitely some of that going on underneath the surface. And maybe I think, kind of something that I'm working on stuff for the next record, and one thing that is kind of come up is this idea that like, you know, we kind of all, even if we don't have our like religious God, we all kind of have a God or something we worship. And
yeah,
whether that's like, you know, something spiritual or something like you know, you really value wealth or stability or entertainment or some sort of substance. We all have something that we really go and we worship kind of involuntarily. And been thinking a lot about that and ways that plays into the whole God thing.
yeah. There's always something that you're like working for, whether
Hmm.
it's like, I mean, the Catholic guilt here is so strong within
Yeah.
like everyone in the community. So that's why I did rise so deep there. And by the way, if you saw me typing, it was because there's an alert that I want to have for you, like all your links and stuff, and it wasn't working. So I was listening. I was
Oh,
just
yeah.
also
No
getting that.
worries.
I just want to be like messaging on the side, but especially during like one of the most like deep answers. Like,
No,
hang on.
it's all good. No worries. Didn't
Um,
take it any way.
well, I always want to make sure because I just so appreciate you being here, taking some time to talk about music with us in general. I love learning that you were an English major, because the line from oh, no, I'm gonna okay, I believe it's either from Sag or Moab. She said it gives her hope of a pure way of moving through. Don't they know that we could do swatted down at any time? Oh, how could they know to not give up like I give up? And now I'm remembering. I'm pretty sure it's Sag. If I'm not, I no, it's Moab. It's Moab. Um, that to me even just reads like a line of poetry. Like I would study that in school. Also, someone that had creative writing as part of like that was my minor. Um, who are some of your favorite songwriters? I'm so curious. Like if you're penning stuff like that, damn, who are you looking up to that we need to be listening to?
That's a great question. I think it goes all over the place. I mean, I think like one of my like favorite songwriters in college was definitely Will Toledo from Car Seat Headrest. I I've been seeing all of the Pine Grove comparisons
Yes.
to the band, and I definitely, definitely a fan. Um, I also really look up to a lot of local musicians as well. There's a band that plays in Boston, Clifford, who are my friend Miles is probably like one of the best songwriters I've ever met. And really like just kind of one of those people where you're like, damn, I gotta get back in the bedroom and revise. They just have such a way of being so eloquent with what they have to say. But um Andy Schaaf is a big one. I love Andy Schaaf. I'm trying to think some others. They'll probably come up, but yeah, I love a good story. I love a good blunt line, and
Yeah.
yeah, I love some sarcasm. But I think when something can kind of make me like, I think like the romanticization of the everyday really gets me. Like,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Where it's just because that was I should have probably included the part that before it was about like almost the feeling of like witnessing a spider make a web and then like kind of feeling, oh, I'm just gonna keep going even though that this could be torn down. At least that's how I interpreted it personally. Like this could be destroyed tomorrow, but I'm still gonna just work for it in the meantime. Um, which I thought that was like such a beautiful like analogy that you throughout that whole piece, which is what hit me because I heard Sag first, and then I heard Moab, and then I was just like obsessed with Moab. I was on repeat. Um, and then of course got to listen to the rest of the album after seeing, okay, this is like the same artist over and over. Um, but as you mentioned you listened or you wrote the album kind of sequentially. Um, did any song change a lot from like when you initially wrote it, or was it just kind of you were working them through?
I would say they kind of were like working them through.
Mm,
They the first three were written kind of in like kind of like the fall springtime, and we're kind of like I feel like they were on path to be, it was like on path to be kind of like a different sounding record. And then that summertime, I took some time out of Boston, and I just kind of was just writing on my acoustic guitar a lot. And then I just kind of wrote a bunch of these like kind of I was just like, I'm just gonna write some songs because I need some comfort songs, and they were really simple. And I was one of the benefits of being a teacher is you kind of get a lot of time in the summer. So I got back on my old college schedule, and I was like up all night and was
oh yeah.
working on demos and stuff. And then I was like, okay, I think this is a whole thing now. So let's just start recording, and that's kind of how it happened. But I think the one that changed probably the most was I came in with a demo of painting of a tree,
Mm-hmm.
and the two musicians I was playing with at the time, KP and Sam, we kind of I kind of showed them the song, and they were like, well, what if we kind of slowed it down a little bit? And like, and KP had that bass part, and really kind of turned it into this like slower, more
Yeah.
still song that really, I think really was like one of those moments that really elevated the piece. I think it was going to
Mm-hmm.
be something that a little different before, and this was turned it into, I think, probably the best song that on that record.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so funny that you mentioned Painting of a Tree. We were like, I have your album playing at the same time, and that was what we were listening to. Like, as soon as you said that sentence, it was kind of like
Really, that's
a
so
crazy
funny.
coincidence. That was perfect. Um, okay, so SAG, I mentioned before, SAG was what brought me to you. Um, and as an Enneagram 3, I don't know if you're familiar with the Enneagram. It's kind of it's kind of like astrology woo woo
Is that
girl
the
stuff.
is that like the acronym thing? If you're introvert, extrovert,
Yes,
is
yeah,
that
it's
what?
kind of like
Yes,
that.
yeah.
That's Myers-Briggs. This is like another variation of
Okay,
it. So it's kind of
okay.
like same line, but I'm an Enneagram 3, and so that's when I was like, okay, this is like you just read me really cold. And lately I've been aggrandizing self-importance. So my question for you on that one is just how could you?
How could I aggrandize self-importance?
How could you do that to me in personally? That,
Oh,
that was a bad joke,
I see, I see, I see. Okay.
but actually there is a line from Dragging Amps and Dragging Ass to play a show at a tourist trap. What was the tourist trap that inspired that?
Taurus Trap is actually it's a DIY venue in Boston that's very it's very loved in the community. So
Nice.
that's that's the reference there.
Nice. I love that. That's so good. Um, just kind of in general, what's an album that you think changed your life?
Skin, that's a really good question.
Hard
Um,
hitting.
I mean, I think there's definitely a couple that come to mind. I think definitely ones for different periods of my life. Like I think that I mean, like, I think when I was getting into music, like when I heard like Nirvana's Nevermind for the first time, that was like, whoa, this is what I want to be when I grow
Yeah.
up. Like, I like this real connection to like sense of individuality and angst. And like, there was something, I think, especially like Nirvana's music is really great for people who are kids, especially who are just getting into music. And so that was like a record that like, blew my mind, changed my life, and like made me want to start doing music. And then later on, like, excuse me, um, uh, I think when my freshman year of college, Tame Impala's Lonerism, like
Oh,
it like sonically like it's like this is amazing. Like I
yes.
want to make music that makes me feel like this. And I it's funny, I just revisited that record recently and I still get the same sort of like itch and inspiration from listening to that. And I think like for years I was just obsessed with trying to like recreate something like that. And then inevitably I don't really make music that sounds like that, but it doesn't matter. It's still geez. Well, they're definitely more. I mean, um,
It's hard when I put you
yeah,
on the spot like that.
yeah. I
It's
know.
it's it's hard. Later you'll be
Yeah,
like listening to something, oh fuck, why didn't I include that?
yeah. No, I know. I know.
Yeah. Um okay, so I know today, I believe, there was the new release of the CD on Bandcamp.
Yeah,
So want to make sure everybody goes checks that out. I've got a link of that. I've also got all of your links: Spotify, Instagram. Everyone go check out Tiberius in those areas. But I mean, what else do you have going on? Is there anything like any upcoming shows in the Boston area coming up? Anything?
yeah. Yeah. So we put out the compact disc edition of the record. Thanks,
The full
Jamie.
legal name?
Yeah, and it's just I'm really excited to have another physical version of it out there. And I it has like a there's like six bonus tracks with some live acoustic cuts of kind of it was actually some of the first times I played some of the songs like for an audience before I showed them to the band, so they're kind of some early versions of them, and just really nice little living room set, which I was happy to include. Um, and so that's out there, and we haven't announced it yet, but we're going to be going on tour this summer. Actually, will be in the Chicago area as well
Ooh,
later this year. Not
I'm
with the
there.
full band, unfortunately, but it's the first leg of the tour. It's a solo endeavor with myself and my very good friends and the band Sweet Petunia, which is like a folk duo in Boston, and they're truly like some of the best pals, some of the kindest people, really awesome. And then the second leg will be more East Coast, and we'll be with the rock show format. So we'll be announcing that later this week. All the details around that.
Ooh, nice. All right. Well, you've already got two folks at your Chicago show
Cool,
from
cool,
just that announcement alone. So we're there.
awesome.
Um, do you want to do any sort of like song performances? I also know you asked to do that before as well, and
No,
I
yeah,
didn't see your email soon enough. So, what
I'm
works best for you?
I'm totally happy to play a song or two. So
Okay.
whatever you want to hear.
I mean, selfishly, my two are Sag and Moab, but also whatever you also feel like most comfortable playing, what you've got most reps with. I'll kind
No,
of like
no,
I'll mute myself over here. I'll pull you large on the screen over
cool.
here as well. So, um, if you're open to it, also no pressure to do so because I
Yeah,
know it's kind of weird. We've never done it before either. So,
really.
whatever.
Wow, first
Yeah, this is
time.
the first time we've ever had anyone like do any sort of performance here. So,
I'm gonna
very
be I'm gonna
grateful.
be I'm gonna be at the performance. It's like, oh, we're never gonna do that again. Do that.
Oh, no, no,
Yeah.
no. No.
Sure. Yeah.
All right.
Um.
Let me make me really small really quick. First stream. Sorry, I'm editing on the fly because I'm bad at this.
Seems like you've got a pretty good handle on it.
All right, I'm gonna mute on my end. Whenever you're ready, it's super casual, super calm.
Okay. Cool. Um, well, let's just give it a shot. I give up. I give up. I give up. She wants to know everything. Plans her day, will laying down for bed. What she can and can't control. She knows the mouse copes with just how to feel alone. Much better than I could ever do. But now she's crying over spiders, moved by the beauty of the webs. They're trying to build their homes. Said it gives her hope, a pure way of moving through. Don't you know what they could do? Swat it down at any time. How could you know? I'll give up. Like I'll give up. Won't love, won't selfishly. She said it's not that it's you, it's not the best for me. But don't you love it when your mother cuts in? She said it gives her hope. From down in Moab up to Rome, New York. That was 11 days ago. Now there's nothing left to know. But there's something left to hold on to. How could you know that I have step? It's not your problem, just forget it. I could if you wanted. I told my mother it'd be different, but it's not like any other. Say something important, I can't help but stutter. Thinking something not even worth it. I could, but you couldn't. Could, but you couldn't. I can't be. I can't, but I should.
Oh my god, dude! Round of a million applause is happening. I wish I could do like a soundboard through my through my mic. That was so fucking good.
Thanks.
Especially like wow, I just the acoustic, the way I've only heard, I mean, what you have on Spotify. So like being able to hear the acoustic, you still just absolutely hit that shit.
That's very kind.
That was so fucking good. Oh my god. Everyone's clapping. You've got lighters. You've got it all. You've got
Wow.
hot dogs dancing.
Wow, okay. That's just quite a chat.
A lot
Is
going
this...
on there.
Oh, I just
Yeah,
noticed that I can access the public chat. Whoa. Okay, there's a lot. Okay.
a lot's going on.
Oh
And by
my God.
fucks, we say like the song "Certified Fucks." That means
Yeah.
like it hits really hard. Just to clarify.
It's a good thing, yeah. No, I get that.
That's a huge compliment in these parts. Uh, Jamie's saying no, Brendan, don't look. And
Jamie's got a lot. Jamie's got a lot to say.
yeah, Jamie's a chatterbox. Jamie
Jamie
Ambrosky.
Jamie's a very good pal. We met specifically through this project and doing this, but a pleasure to call them a pal.
Oh yeah, agreed on my end as well. Just immediately like the first couple messages that we had back and forth. Well, it was from one of the playlists that I had you on, Double D's, and then the first song was Sack. So that was the first thing that Jamie mentioned was like bold choice to have a playlist called Double D's and the first song be Sag.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Sounds like Jamie.
Sounds like Jamie.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if you want to, speaking of, you,
Yeah.
you I'll shut up now. Fine.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I always it's like a it was 50-50 shot if I get the little opening right. So we'll see. Okay. Free cheers for Ellie. How'd you get so down? How'd you get so sad? Walking through the grocery store, talking with your dad. I have no patience for this urgency. I'm pining after too many things. Try to let it go if it makes you feel that alone. Looking at yourself, body. Lately, been all grand, self in. I could have a say, else seen always shut. Blinded by the light, and I saw in her eyes. And if you bound all makes sense, but New York ain't too far. Dragging amps and dragging guys to play show, play show, play show at the tourist trap. Why do I try to keep on trying?
Reached a flow state there with those riffs at the end. It was just each one that you were nervous about at the beginning was just flawless. That was so good.
Well, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to play some tunes.
Oh my gosh, I appreciate you to the ends of the earth for just even being here. Sorry, I'm trying to like get us back in a frame together to be like normal size, but I like do this in a really janky way that I think anyone that actually is good at what they do would yell and scream.
I feel like there's no need to be so self-deprecating. I feel like this is very,
Oh,
very pleasant and professional and great.
well, thank you for saying that. I really appreciate that. Which, by the way, okay, you had two different tunings you were working there. The chat's saying "get her ass," so you got me. Uh, what's your favorite tuning to kind of work within when you're like maybe in like a rut, like a songwriting rut, if you have one, or if it just kind of comes natural?
Good question. I usually, and I think I might have, I think I probably have worn out my miles doing this, but I'll usually detune just a couple of strings and
Yeah.
kind of like be like, okay, well, this one's open now, and this one's a half step down, and um, it kind of just gives the chords a little bit of a different sound,
Hmm.
just enough to be like, okay, well, I can write another C song and it works. But I think I'm really. I've been feeling like I've really pushed C to the max, so I'm really looking for some other stuff recently.
Yeah,
But
I see like all the TikToks of like this new tuning you have to try. It's changing my life or something like that. So I'm always curious what folks like work the most in.
I did actually just I'm really looking for different things. I wrote a song in the American football tuning, and I was
Oh
like,
yeah,
it turns out you don't just need to play Never Meant if you play that tuning. It's like there's no
it's
rules against
beyond
it.
that.
They don't
Yeah,
check. You can write other songs with it too.
yeah, that's what one of my I've now made a rule that like, okay, if once I do it, I'm just gonna keep it there and mess around with it for a little bit because I like get into a habit of like, oh, I'm not finding anything right away. Like change it back to something I feel more comfortable in. So like I have a rule for some of my like other guitars, I just keep them in like a weird fuck ass tuning. So if I'm feeling like annoyed, I'll just go try something new and see what feels like, I don't know, new and interesting at least to just mess
Totally.
around with. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Um, well, I don't want to take too much of your night, but I just want to say thank you so, so much for being here. This was incredible for me, for everyone listening, to get a live performance too. Those were just awesome. Can't wait for your Chicago show. I will for sure be there. If you'll have me, just be in the crowd, kind of lurking, having a beer. Um,
Perfect. Come up. Come hang. There's no need to lurk. Come hang.
well, I am there for it. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out with us.
Thanks so much for having me on. This was really fun and an absolute pleasure.
Of course, of course. Have a great rest of your. Oh, I do have one request. Before you, if you're on a phone or if you're on a device, before you like exit out whatever the window is, if you could let it reach 100% for the upload, um, that would be helpful for me when I upload this to YouTube. I'll just use the Riverside recording, which will be nice and clean. But
Sounds good.
cool,
I'll let it do its thing.
awesome, sounds good. Well, thank you so much. I hope you have a great rest of your